Tammy, I have 7 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. I'm going to assume everybody had a chance to look over the previous minutes. Were there any corrections or alterations?
I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from our last prior meeting as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Finance, digital payment system. You want to hop up into the seat?
Speak about it very much.
Okay. What did you think of it? Looking into it further.
Have a machine. Put them on for QR, is it a QR code
Yeah, QR code.
online?
Mhm.
That's fine. I will not be taking numbers.
I agree. Yep.
There's too much chance of putting them in, even though you can put them in the computer, too much chance of putting them in wrong. If you want to read here, so I will not take one with phone, and I don't believe Kathy will either.
It's dangerous.
Um,
It makes us liable.
So, just for clarification, a machine here to read them or submitted online. Fees for that will be passed on. We need to make sure that those are passed on to the
3%.
3%.
You're gonna have to put it online. I mean, I know you've got some kind of wording you're gonna put online if you do this.
Right, passed on.
Some kind of disclaimer.
Yep.
8% charge will be put on the credit cards to do this transaction.
I mean, yeah, because
So.
so if an out of stater wants to pay their taxes online, it's gonna be their taxes plus 3%. Okay, yep. That's fine with me.
3% on top of the
Okay,
costs.
Right.
Okay.
That's automatic.
that is,
That's automatic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Accept those things.
I think that, you're still looking into it, or is that an agreement you have?
We're presenting it to the board to decide if we're going to move forward.
Okay.
So the actual unit is free, everything's free to us. They'll close the accounts. If we don't close the books daily, they'll close the books, I think he said at 8 PM if I remember.
Yes, I believe it was 8 PM. So it's pending until you submit it at the end of the day and then the process.
Okay,
And the other pieces are, they don't provide a printer. They were suggesting that we use the big printer here with 8.5 by 11 paper. We can buy a printer on Amazon for under $50, and I think that's probably our best bet because it's the right size paper. If they come in
Okay.
person, but that would be our only expense. You know, the initial setup and whatever the paper product is. So I don't know if we want to charge a small processing fee for the paper, but I don't think it's a big deal. I wouldn't myself, but yeah, you're talking pennies here. We're getting crazy. We pay enough in taxes.
We're
so,
talking about possibly having, you can have more than one account. Say you've got road money, you want to road account.
Oh, my mic turned
Or
off. I'm sorry.
Zoning or taxes, we go into the town account.
Okay.
Well, at the time, we were thinking, oh, we'll just have the town, but no, we have road stuff too. And there would be a drop down menu, so you can pick which thing you're paying.
okay,
Right. Yeah, he said there's a whole setup that they can do on the inside and they maintain it. We don't. I mean, Tammy was there. Well, it comes down to decide, you know, it has to be what the board decides to accept payments for.
okay.
Yeah.
So what you're looking for right now is a motion to continue to look into this and,
An application is sent us.
Yes, he sent it via email.
okay,
The other thing was you can set up, like say somebody pays something with their credit card, you can set them up so that if they call anything, you can. But no, Kathy does not want anybody's information.
okay, so where it would be saved, yep, Okay.
Say at this office.
okay,
Correct.
Or even a
Nope.
program. They have, it's a certain program that you have to open up in order to be able to make that charge go through during the
Right.
day.
Okay.
If they charge something online in the morning and you open it up, it'll show the charges. I asked him that question online. I emailed him because I was wondering what would happen with those. Because if you're using it here, you have to have that system, that program open during the day.
Okay.
And it does time out. Remember, he was saying that it will time out the machine. You have to bring it back up. Kind of thing, but it
You
will,
have to sign
I mean,
in for it to-
there will be a QR code available to us so they can just scan it.
okay,
And there was also a like pay link on there that you could click. I believe he said we could add a button.
Yes.
Yeah, button.
Copy and paste or something.
Okay.
So there's a few things. I mean, what we just need is what we're looking for is just the approval to move forward with it. Then we can get into the actual mechanics on how to make it happen on the website and such.
So under these conditions, I make a motion that we move forward with the acquisition of a credit card payment system.
Second that.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I would like Donna to do all that. We'll do all that stuff.
Yeah, I'll talk to him again.
Good job.
Uh,
That part, that'd be
yep.
great.
I will work with them. We'll fill out the application, get the ball rolling. That may require some information from you, account numbers and such. And then once we get the ball moving, I forget who maintains our website. Why do I think it's one of Kathy Westcomb? Somebody Kathy knows.
Can you be able to link our website?
All right, we'll figure it out. So we'll just get it added to the website and that'll make it easier for people.
She had some kid doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember who. I'm sorry. I cannot give you a name.
But the good news is there's no money out of our pockets and it's a 3% charge, which I didn't think was too bad for people.
Yep.
Using it per se to
Okay.
cover all the fees.
Taxes have a 2% charge on top of it, but they think on Monday morning, it's like, oh, I didn't pay my taxes and I can't get in there, 3% is better than 9%.
It is.
So, I don't know. I did get the tax rate for this year, for you to sign the paperwork on that.
So the tax rate, so the tax rate Vera has given us here. I'll read this as it's stated. We, the Select Board of Bakersfield, hereby set the municipal tax rate at 0.6436. The state of Vermont has set a tax rate for the schools at $1.7051 for the non-homestead and 1.4115 for the homestead. The tax rate of
Repeat that one, please.
1.4115.
Thank you.
A tax rate of 2.3487 will be set for 2.3487 will be set for non-residential properties and 2.0551 for homesteads. There's all the backup here as to how she came up with the tax rate. And if you would like to read that before signing, you're more than welcome. I have full confidence in Vera and will sign. And this requires 2 signatures each.
You want to read it over. I'll back up the things. No. We'll just sign and verify your work.
We don't want to slow you down.
I got part of my stuff done before. I just gotta finish up. I'm available for later in the day.
Why do we like pizza so much?
It's
There.
no.
So does anyone know what the actual increase is from last year? How much more from last year it is?
There.
I got the paperwork.
Okay,
So you're-
so last year's tax rate for non-residential or non-homestead, now worded on there, it's worded.
Mhm.
Last year it was 2.2596.
Uh,
0.259.
1.9887.
Good place for.
What was non-homestead?
last year, 2.2596.
The last one.
It's like 6 cents more,
That's municipal and
Yeah.
6 months more for homestead and 9 cents more for not.
Yeah, that was roughly what I got when I did the math.
Homestead is about, I apologize,
It's just like I had 7.
it's about 7 cents more.
Yeah.
Non-homestead's around 9. I mean, they're
Are those all set? Don't even put it back.
per thousand, right? Per thousand?
Yeah.
Oh,
Per hundred.
No, I always do it last. That way if there's any
Per
questions.
thousand.
Yeah.
$2 per hundred. It's a heck of a big tax rate. Are you really saying that we're paying taxes $2 per $100? So if our house is $1,000, that's what I'm saying. I thought it was per thousand.
It'd have to be per 100, otherwise you'd only be paying a couple $100 in taxes.
You are correct.
I prefer per thousand. Let's still. I want per thousand.
It is,
I don't have a calculator in front of me.
it is per hundred.
Amazing.
Well, $200,000 home at. If it was per thousand, that'd be what, 2? No, it'd be 200 times 2 would be $4,000. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's per thousand. Yeah. I think we're all set. There's both of your papers that you need.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a
Have a good night.
Sure.
All right. Now, one other thing before we get to visitors. I have for everybody to look over before we get to our next meeting is a guide in the state of Vermont for setting municipal speed limits.
Speed limits?
Speed limits. From what I looked over it now, and like I said, I'm giving everybody a chance to read this over. And we'll discuss it more when we get into roads, but for right now, Mr. Luna is not here. He called in and said he won't be able to make this meeting. He'll be at the next meeting to discuss Kings Hill Road. So that brings up the golf course. Mr. Stone, Mr. Cattell, if you'd like to come up and join the hot seats here.
Mr. Chairman, I will step back from this conversation at this time due to a conflict.
Perfect. Thank you, Todd.
Yep.
Can't hear very good, so I won't hear.
All right, so. Basically what's been happening or what's happened is it started out very simple with the request from Todd for some signage. Which then led to, Mac, do we have that book? Which led to us looking into, all of the background on, who's responsible for signage, who's.
That book or the sign?
No.
We can save you a lot of time. We'll pay it.
Okay. Okay. I just wasn't sure if you guys were even aware that there was a book. It's Wolf Run, it's dated from,
When we went through this process of Act 250 to get the 18 holes,
yep,
Right.
okay? There was nothing about signs or any of that type of stuff, Rudy, what they did before, I gotta be honest with you, I didn't look at it.
Yep.
We were concentrating with the 18 holes. And at that particular point in time, we met with everybody in the state. There was somebody from the town there at the time, and there were 3 crossings there. There's the crossing at the top of the hill between 12 and 13. There's the crossing between 4 and 5. And then there's crossing the little, that's the equipment crossing.
Yeah.
And what that is when you're mowing or when you're doing certain things, sand traps, they come across there. Okay, now, I mean, that's the 3 crossings.
Yeah, let's be honest about everything. We know the roads, people, but there's no way a policeman, unless you have a 24-hour cop on that road.
Yep.
You know, that, and we understand that. And I didn't know nothing about the lines that Todd did to put on. I think they're great. They really make, now people, I think you're gonna see people stay in that area.
Yeah,
You know, if you see a line, it's like herding cows, you know, if you herd them all that way. And if they go through that line, they stay in that line and you've got, I didn't know, the first time I by there, I said, who the hell did these? They look great. And I figured because you were Alan, but they really, I think they really add to keeping people in them areas.
they
You're
have,
talking about your clients.
Right, people, right,
Okay.
they're all from people that.
From our perspective, we sign as a select board, we sign an agreement in order to obtain funds from the state of Vermont that we will keep the road standards as per the Vermont statutes. And our problem is you can't have a crosswalk unless you have a speed limit of 35 miles an hour. or
So,
less.
so wait, I would like to interrupt for just a second. As I did go up and saw the paintings and Mac did also. These, in my personal opinion, and Mac, I think you agree with me, these are not crosswalks.
no, they're not.
These are lines across the road that keep the car, show the cars. where they're going. I just wanted to make sure that
Actually,
Step on this side of the thing.
you.
Absolutely.
To make those crosswalks, I know based on the law, they have to be a foot in width. And they have to be 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
Be 24 by 24 blocks. I put those lines strictly there to guide the carts across.
So you're putting those not to guide traffic,
No.
but to guide your clients.
So that's spot, they can, that's big.
So, As long as you put the proper signage up, I don't have a problem.
Our club is pretty small.
Thank you, Todd.
Yeah.
180 members, people have been members for 20.
yeah,
Okay, and guess what happens like anything else? One of the first things you have Border Stevens says, we put those lines across the road for. We put those lines across the road so you guys stay in there. We got Bakersfield wants that happen. Now, brother, that was, I didn't know. Oh, that's a good idea. He will tell this one, everybody now knows.
Stay in that area. And back to the speed limit, I wish you could put 35 mile an hour speed limit through there. I really think it should be. I really
It's
do.
quite a,
And,
it's quite a process and you have to get everybody on there to agree.
Actually, once we,
This morning, Lance. Alan was there this morning. We were spreading chemicals on the green pesticides on the greens. There was a motorcycle went by there. If you want doing 85, you want doing.
I've seen them. It's, yeah.
I sit on the deck on Friday nights. It's crazy the
It's crazy.
Yeah.
speed limit that.
So-
I understand your position where it's hard to monitor, hard to enforce it, because we can't enforce it.
No.
So
You know,
bringing up your point, you kind of led into this packet, which I will give a brief overview of. In the research that I did today, a municipality can change the speed limit without going through all of the hoops that we had to for the state. What needs to happen is we have to post it for 14 days in 5 public places. Since you guys are on board, would you be willing to be one of the public places we post this when paperwork is, okay, that's good. That's one thing checked off my list. And what this will do is 15 days before it's posted, you can then change the speed limit. And anybody who has any problems has 60 days to submit a formal complaint with what was the wording? What's that? No, it's a petition the speed limit change.
Mhm.
So it's
So we can change it without a petition. It
correct,
takes a petition to stop it.
correct.
Right.
I'll have to read them.
You will have to read them. That's why I gave it to you.
All right, well, I don't.
Josh,
I
the
got it.
other thing is you can do a seasonal speed limit too.
All right, we have thought about that.
I'm just saying, that's the other one.
But there's enough people that live, my personal thought was to change it to 35 from the intersection of 108 to, I think it's Birch Way where Ivan lives. Gets you past most of the residential, or at least the thick part of the residential area and the high traffic area. I see we have,
Couple comments.
Okay.
Ready?
yeah, who are they from?
Sue Ann Cochran.
Sue Ann Coffin.
Oh, she was on Facebook.
So Sue Ann Coffin says, I have an issue with one set of lines. You cannot see them coming from one direction. I have no problems with golfers. I just don't want it to promote a false sense that they have the right of way.
So, Sue Ann, that's a great thing. However, the lines on the road are not for the motorists in the vehicles. Those are for the golf carts, so they cross in the correct location. The fact that they're on the highway is so that the carts are not exiting the golf course in multiple locations. There's 3 deemed locations. That's what those cross hatches are there for.
Carl? Dan, is it your intention to put up stop signs for your clients on both sides of the road?
Whatever you guys tell me.
We want with the stop sign.
We have, I think Robert's got some signs already ordered. I don't know what they are, but you guys just tell them what you want for signs either.
They don't have to be any,
Deal with it.
they don't have to be anything fancy. I think like a snowmobile trail sign would be sufficient for what you guys need, something that you could take out and it's seasonal.
She has 2 more.
Oh, 2 more questions. Okay.
The stop sign went from 12 to 13.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a
I feel
stop
like,
sign
yeah.
on one of them, but I couldn't remember which one.
You need stop sign for the golf carts.
Yeah.
Stop signs for the golf carts on both sides of the road.
We're in the process of updating this.
Yeah.
So
We have another
the
question.
next 2 pieces are, even at 25 miles an hour, I fear someone cannot stop fast enough if they feel they have the right of way. It's just a concern I would like mentioned. She says, okay, thank you. I just don't want anyone getting hurt. So to the.
No, I mean, you just need to make clear to your clients that they do not have a right of way, and it is their responsibility to stop, look both ways, common sense.
At the golf cart point, I have had myself, and I've had a number of people tell me they have near misses because golf carts don't stop.
Yeah.
They fly right across that road, at the top of the hill.
There's nobody in here that golfs more than I do.
Yeah, it goes, yeah.
There's nobody in here that golfs more than I do, and I totally disagree with that statement.
Oh, no, I really hit the guy last Friday.
I will tell you this. I'm sure there are golf carts that don't stop there,
Yep.
but I'm gonna tell you, there's a whole lot more cars that don't slow down.
Right.
And I said this before, so it's not a pedestrian in the road, right? I have nothing against the golf course. Listen, your business, I'm happy that you're here. And I don't golf, but that's fine. You want to open a paintball field, I'll be out there playing paintball with you. So it's a different type of sport. So the problem I have is I personally have had a number of near misses. That road is marked at 50.
You go
And-
35 miles an hour on that road.
No, what's the speed limit of the road? 50. I had a head-on collision, it's 50. I had a head-on collision 2 years ago. I don't do 50 on that road. No matter popular belief in what's been said, people will tell you I drive under the speed limit, especially at that hill, because it's very reminiscent of the hill that took me out and nearly took out my family at 50. Kid came over the hill doing like 65, and I was doing 45 into it and head-on collision.
For the 30 miles or 35 miles an hour of the speed limit.
It's a-
I think that's a huge thing for it.
It's a blind hill coming from Jarvis's farm
This
towards.
is what I can say, the
towards
golf
108.
course has been there 38 years, Carl and I have owned it 20 years.
Mhm.
Okay, unfortunately, there've been 2 minor accidents that have happened there. And unfortunately, both of them crossed, not where those cross signs are, they were crossing some quicksand.
Right, I said there, people cross all over the road.
2 accidents were
No,
our employees.
yeah,
So
One of them was dead, one of them was totally dead.
Yep.
We got hit, and very lucky he didn't get killed.
that's the
Very
point.
lucky he didn't get killed. The other one was an older guy that was driving down the side of the road
Yeah,
and decided just to come across and just like.
Get it set.
But fortunately again, it
right.
was a minor thing where he just pushed him off the side. It wasn't a real.
Real injury.
So
But I don't disagree with you having close calls, and Daniel will tell you, hey, you see close calls. I'm on the road 24, I see close calls every day, everywhere.
Yeah, oh, no, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
It's gonna happen everywhere.
A speed,
Oh.
a stop sign would be, I don't know if there's stops, I don't golf, so I haven't been near course. Speed hump,
the other thing that we've owned that for 28 years.
Mhm.
Okay, it's a family business.
Mhm.
Okay, there's some things that we do at that golf course that people don't know about. We have donated
Mm.
to support your troops. It's now called, when the
Okay.
trumpets fade for PTSD people. $250,000 over the last few years.
Yeah.
The Little Gates tournament, Lee's raises a ton of money every year. That's one of our pride and joys. Okay, we have 20 employees, 15 from the town of Bakersfield.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We have never complained about our taxes. We've never complained about anything.
We've complained.
And so the bottom line is, if this doesn't work and you need something, well, Carl and I are more than happy to work with you.
So,
Just work for you.
so
Right, I mean, the third opening. And just to talk about the third opening for half a moment.
Yep.
So you put in a petition for an Act 250 permit to add 18 holes, and on your permit. You added the third entrance at the top, which I think I can tell, and your permit number in 2013, you asked for an extension, I did some research. 6F03347A is your permit number.
And 2013 wasn't when we put the golf course in all of it. I think that was for our 250 for the building permit.
They filed it was an extension for the overall process with that's where the third entrance is, that was extended to 2016. That's my understanding going through the documentation.
I don't,
Okay.
when we did that golf course in I can tell you a whole fact about.
Right.
When we did the Act 250 permit there, it was 1999.
Okay, That's-
And
yeah.
when we came up, the final thing, Sam Brugiano, who lived here in Bakersfield, was our engineer. And one of the last things we had to deal with the state of Vermont was where the crossings were going to be and what it was. And obviously, the first two things we said were 12 and 13 is, that's got to be where we go to 13 because golf is a continuous thing.
Mhm.
And where we cross the road between 4 and 5 is going to be continuous. And they said, well, what about the crossing down below? And we said, there should not be a lot of golf carts there, but there will be equipment. That's where mowers come across. That's
Right.
where work carts come across it and when they go there. 1,000 or permit you're talking about, what we were originally going to do is I forgot how many lots we were going to put up there. Obviously, for that mountain.
which is what the 250 is about.
The cost was prohibitive.
Right.
We did the engineering study. And we backed away.
Probably the biggest mistake the two of us ever made in our life,
Was trying to put the lots in.
doing that right there. It cost us $125,000-$30,000 and then
Came about.
get it back to the town, so we weren't gonna do it. So.
Just so,
Learning experience. It cost
So-
us, we're still.
just so we're clear, an Act 250 permit can't get, it's, when I called down and spoke to the folks down at the state of Vermont. An Act 250 permit doesn't supersede the permits from the town for driveways and doesn't supersede the permit. We still have to, it still requires a permit from the town in order to open that access. I'm not saying don't give a permit. What I'm saying is we need a permit.
Okay.
Right? That's what they said. I spoke to Pam down there at the main office. So when we use Act 250 in some conversation,
Right.
and we've used it to say, oh, well, the Act 250 is a cover, it isn't. though.
John, that permit has been submitted.
Okay,
That has been for the third access. Yep, so that was submitted, yeah, what, 3.5 weeks ago?
okay.
Right. So that has been.
That was never permitted, you just what you're saying?
What we're saying is the one on top of the hill. Wasn't permitted. It was Act 250 permitted. But it was never permitted as a town access, which is what you have to do for any driveway in the town.
We was there when we were there with the fence. With Bobby
I
Garrett.
was gonna say, I figured probably Bobby Jarvis, but yeah.
You just need to get the permit.
He was obviously concerned because his
Those trucks, yep.
trucks and stuff go down through there. And when he came over, that crossing is right top of the hill and you can see both ways. You gotta stop. Right? Stop
Yeah.
every time there.
Yep.
But, and Bobby said, he was at first reluctant about it, but in the end said, there's no other place you can cross. And that's where.
I'd much rather cross on top of that hill.
then, yeah, then down where the equipment
On
turns.
top of that building, you can.
Alan?
Point of order for that, or not order, but a comment for it is. There used to be a house that's set right there, and that was an access point for that house. There was no telephone there.
Yep.
That's set right there.
Long time, right.
I really don't think we need it.
Yeah.
Get it
So that might have,
back up. It was already-
it might have been existing.
Yeah, it's a change of use and it's both sides of the road. But it's, all I'm saying is you gotta get the documentation in place.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, by the way, and I know I'm gonna segue to something real quick. It's the same thing. We had that discussion about solar panels not too long ago, and it was like, oh, it's Act 250. No, they still need town permits.
Okay.
That whole solar farm.
So that's a zoning, have you got zoning on that?
I did send the information over to Brenda, CCing, I believe, the
Okay.
town clerk.
So there are just a couple of things I want to talk with these guys about before we, because I feel like we've covered everything. And I feel like we're all on the same page now.
We haven't covered this signage on our road.
That's what I was getting at.
Okay.
So, Mac has ordered the signs. They're already in, they're down there. What do we got, Max? 6 signs?
Two that say golf club ahead, there's 2 pedestrian crossing symbols and there's 2 golf cart symbols. Well, from what I'm seeing with the state, with their trail, they want pedestrian crossing with an arrow coming from both ways.
So the golf cart ones won't.
I think good if you put the arrow down.
So if you did the pedestrians on the outside and the golf carts in the middle with that. I mean, that's gonna, theoretically, people should slow down. If we take care of this, it'll help out also. One of the things, just, I mean, I've golfed in the Root Gates for 19 years, but. Is there any chance you guys would be willing to put out cones for your events? Okay. We have some-
People stealing us.
I mean, I'm not saying like every day. But like when you have the Root Gates there and there's 180 golfers plus. Those times.
If I was doing it every day, I thought it was, I tell you what was helping, I think it was helping the truck traffic.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Them are the ones
It's
that-
visibility.
And. Took 'em.
Yep.
Because they come up missing.
Damn kids,
So now they come up missing.
used to be one.
So I think you, I think that was very smart right here, trying to take time, so that. It's don't know what. A lot of people are going across. the road, they can-
Yeah.
Phones on both ends, I think it's.
You don't want to get them, dog. I don't want to get in trouble. You doing something.
Affecting the flow and it's not something permanent.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're trying to slow down the vehicles when there's an event. I mean, like you said,
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, the farms do it when they're in and out of the manure pits a lot. I feel like that would help out a lot, just,
Smart idea, if we can get something, obviously, we
Yeah.
can't people without people stealing them, but I think if we take them in and out on special
I
events.
get the candlesticks now, they're 18 and everything.
they've got the head items. Yep, I think that would be good.
Get those out.
There's one other thing, I. This is strictly, I mean, I've drove through there in the morning. I'm not gonna say I was the one going slow either, but. I'm not, I don't have a heavy foot once in a while, but, it's not just the carts. Mowers going down the side of the road, that's, I mean. That scares me more, because those mowers are heavy, and I mean, that's gonna be a lot of steel and. You doing going down the side of the road?
We have no other way to get there. Our bridge is about 4 foot wide, and these mowers are 8 foot wide.
Okay,
Oh,
So we gotta do across the road, but we don't have to go down the road, right, Al? So if we cross the road,
We
cross and get off.
we can only cross, because we can't go across the bridge.
Right.
See, the bridge is only for a golf cart and.
How's he supposed to cut the side? I mean, he's cutting the grass, right, right down the side of the road, right?
Yeah. What I'm saying is when he's maneuvering from the shop to one of the fairways, there's a couple.
Time to run into that. Is when you're moving from the shop, the holes 5, 6, 7.
Yeah,
yeah.
If you're going the other way, you cross, they go through 8 and go around
Yeah.
like this.
would it be safer to have him go down 2 and cross down there mid fairway?
We start mowing right there on feet, so
Okay.
we're way down here and come way back
Okay.
to mow.
Right.
One thing else we do is we mow the side of the road there,
Okay,
so.
Yeah.
Danny doesn't have to come up with a
Brush out.
Bar and go through there. We try
Okay.
to mow the side of the road, so it keeps it cleaned up and we've got more visual access.
Yep.
to look
Well,
up
we
and
definitely
down.
gotta keep it home, because the other one.
Yeah. No, it's just, I know you guys try to mow early in the morning and that's usually when most of your traffic is. So I just, I'm not saying that you're doing anything wrong, just trying to keep you safe really more than anything.
So, not up there, do they have flashing lights on their rigs at all? Do we have-
No,
you
we
guys
got
have
headlights.
We could put those tractors, the triangle.
We could, and also.
And flashing
lights
lights.
too, like that. So if you do have to go down through there, I mean, you go.
Right.
Yeah, just something to make you more visible
They
and
don't cost that much. It would be,
Yeah.
makes them a lot more visible.
Especially in early morning. when it's dusk.
One thing, when we always run with the Kubota tractor, we always run forwards.
Yeah.
When we're running seventy in Richfield Road.
Right.
Yeah.
That does happen.
Yep.
But as far as. If we, can you remember back when we used to mow with a game on?
Yeah.
Take up the whole road.
Yeah.
20 feet.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There's no way to get it otherwise.
That doesn't seem that long ago. I could have sworn. They
Huh.
gang mower bit.
Do you have any questions for us?
No, I think pretty much everyone's on the same boat. I didn't want somebody to get hurt first.
Right.
And again, if there's something that comes up, just let us know, and we're more than happy to let go.
Yeah. Well, that's why we invited you here. Instead of talking about what we could do, it's like, get them here and talk with you guys.
You can order, I know that, you can order all that stuff that we're talking about. besides the-
One thing they actually tell you. When you say you're gonna get this up, Todd and Alan. They need to try it.
So Mac already has the signs. Mac, will you put those signs out? Is that something in the next week? We can get done? What are we short?
There is golf course sign, one by Jerry Brigham's.
Yep.
And one down over the hill over. No, I'm just saying, but those two, there is a post where they stole the sign that said golf cart crossing ahead. That they cut it off, that one's still there. The other one, I don't know what they did with the others.
Okay.
All the signs. gone.
Tammy. Can you pull out that sign?
Yeah.
Bill?
Okay.
To give to, not right now, just to give to Todd because they said they were willing to take care of that.
But thank you
Yes.
very much for coming to talk with us tonight. It's cleared up a lot of things. It's making it a lot easier. So we appreciate that very much.
And do you have a copy of this? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
See you, Carol.
Yeah, we have 4 pedestrian crossing signs already.
That one that's down by the drive. I have golf carts already, but I don't know if they're the legal ones. Are yours the triangles? Yeah, mine are just square signs.
Yeah.
Highly reflective and stuff. Yep.
The workers hut too.
I'll show you, I'll bring them
Your
down. and
kid's
show
so
you.
fucking mad.
Do you guys remember when the skiers would cross the road?
Cross country, used to do it with
That's why my order is actually to put them so I tell them where to cross.
back, instead of yelling from the back, since we're on the roads, you don't want to come up. Or Dan, actually, are you here as a visitor or are you here on roads? Are you here on that? We don't have him on here. Sorry, you're gonna have to wait till the next meeting.
I don't want David, I just said it was a lot worse.
Did any letters?
Do you remember when the skiers used to cross up there? I was gonna say, all
Thank
these winter crossings when they had the ski people and stuff. Thank you, sir. I just talked about this with a. I'll be back as a select board member now, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Todd.
Any other, you don't have to accept it.
And you just gotta
I
compute it.
just heard somebody try to get one in Fairfield and they didn't.
You accept it.
One of the workers said, not now, you're not.
I've been trying him, but he won't listen.
Congratulations.
Ready for retirement. Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, really.
Hate to see you go, but congratulations.
Yeah, I need to go. Speaking of.
Would-
it.
Uh, Would you consider per diem work?
He won't listen. That's- 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 that's-
Well, that's not a bad choice. No, would you still an on-call for big storms and stuff?
You keeping your CDL?
I went as far as like FEMA event storms,
Okay,
but as far as snowstorms.
okay. Hey, that's,
I'm gonna miss the jingle of your chains going by the house.
natural disasters you're willing to think. Snow is not a natural disaster.
Snow.
Ice is bad.
You know,
Yeah,
cutting trees, that type of stuff.
Right. Oh, no, I'd be.
okay, perfect.
Yeah,
The
okay.
the summertime help is known as roadside monitor.
Dan, I wish I was wearing your same shoes. I'd like to retire too.
I was just saying, look, his shoes look really comfortable. Really comfortable shoes.
My shoes.
Other than announcing retirement, is there anything on the roads that we need to know about?
Congratulations on the growth.
Well, you never know.
You finally got your baby?
We got
Yeah.
one. Saturday.
Tagged
Oh,
it.
Sunday morning at 1:43.
Boy,
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
little Christopher William.
Is that what they named him? Christopher Williams?
Now we got a big Chris and little Chris. Big Greg gets confusing.
CJ.
TJ.
That's-
The other one here, son came up with is, the something.
Is it junior? Carlton.
What's it junior? No. I don't know, your wife told me. What it was. Whatever. But anyway,
Yeah, you could be CW McCall.
that's Jay.
His middle name is William. CW.
Where's the C comes from?
Chris.
Anyway.
Gideon did come down last week, looked it up.
Yes.
We finally got the voicemail working again, so now we can restore messages that weren't there. John came down Friday, hooked up the little,
Computer. Yep. It's a cube.
you call it that, and we are able to get weather now and stuff like that. You know, that will be working, and we will be working on the municipal road grant sections or whatever you want to call it.
Did he buy you a grandpa monitor too?
Yeah, 43.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, it was cheap. It's like, it's cheaper than a regular monitor. It's,
To get a normal monitor, it would cost several $100s. That size. This was $159. We missed the $99 sale because we were waiting for the okay.
still cheaper.
Yeah, the computer was free. The actual computer was free. We bought the TV, the mouse, the keyboard, and I supplied the HDMI cable.
Wow.
The big piece was free.
Perfect.
Other than
Yeah,
that,
the little
we've
piece.
been missing the.
It's like this big.
Thank you.
Yeah, you better find wood to knock off.
Yeah.
And they go.
I wish I missed him.
Did you end up getting a chance to check out that I was talking with you about down there, Waterville?
Not today. we're
Not
gonna-
today, okay.
Oh, I had one.
Hmm.
What did we decide with Granger Heinlines?
I'm
He
not sure
asked
that-
me.
I'm not sure that there's a problem with that culvert, because it still seems to be going through it, and he said there was a hole in it, so I don't know if he needs to just dig it up for starters and see if there's a problem there. You know what I mean? The water's not, most of the water is coming down the driveway. And then instead of going into the ditch, and then there's, he's got a little culvert just as you start up the driveway. That the water's coming down the ditch, and it's not going through his culvert, it's coming out into the dirt driveway, and then it's coming into the road, so I think that might be part of the problem, so I think he needs to. Dig that up first and see if there really is a problem there. I
All
don't.
right, I'm gonna send him to you. Is that okay? If I am stop at the garage or Dan?
Yeah, you can be done in the next 4 weeks. 5 weeks.
Meaning South.
Bye.
Paul.
East Bakersfield Road in Joyle, past Rosalie's going down. There's some large rocks being exposed. We may want to put some gravel or something on top of it. Because I came back that way. Bakersfield was okay. which cat's getting a little washboardy, but right there was like,
Some kind plus that's a trench.
yeah, it's a trench drawing and it's just large rock
Yeah, it
exposed.
doesn't matter.
It's coming off that uphill side. and
Yeah, running.
Crossing the road,
It's running there, yeah,
like it usually does.
yeah,
You'll see like
The road
one or
tips-
two in
tips
there.
Like this, it's great to keep it from doing that, but
yeah.
yeah, it needs.
Just wash the top stuff off, that's all.
Yeah.
Hey. It could be worse. Look at the rest of
Yeah.
the state.
At least it's still there.
The state, last Saturday, I had to run down to Newark to get my daughter was trapped down there at the airport. Because they canceled 3 days of flights due to lightning and the ride down and back, I just looked at Vermont riding through the state. I'm like, we definitely dodged a
Yeah, we dodged a big one.
big bullet. Big bullet, so thankfully.
The other,
Just got hit twice since.
all right,
Yeah, Jeff and Johnson. Johnson was underwater by like several feet, like 6 feet. The water was up on the
Main Street, Enosburg was flooded a couple days ago.
Yes, back up.
oh, back to.
The whole street got the sewer backed up in their houses.
Oh, great.
When she was driving by the dam,
You might-
the sewer cover was bubbling. It was shaking and bubbling when she rode past it the other day in the rain. It was Saturday, I think.
This is, it's off the roads because it's the one that we went and looked at up on Kings Hill Road 3 years ago.
No, yeah.
And we were gonna try to take that culvert from Whitney when FEMA was done and put it up there, but then the culvert was no good. There's still nothing up there, so they're having to drive through the brook, which is causing the state to complain about that erosion and
So we need to do the hydraulic study before we can get in, and I mean,
it's on the road though.
doesn't matter.
Okay,
If we do a culvert, it's gotta be a hydraulic study over.
so who do we hire for the hydraulic study?
It's class 4 road, I'd say you have to. We have to hire somebody.
Where's it?
No, because
It's gotta be, yeah, but it's gotta, yeah. It's gotta be possible one season out of the year, and if you have to drive through the water, it's not, right?
We got that 4 foot from Whitney sitting down there. We can give it to him, we can't. I wouldn't set a precedent by putting gravel in, working on that road.
Yeah.
He wants to do it, he can do it.
It's class 4, I'm sorry. It's class 4.
We're looking at class 4 road, and go over the top of. Into Belvedere. On Larry Wilkins Road. You gotta make that possible?
our county road.
Good question,
County road's possible,
yeah.
done it.
I know. Well, we don't know if this is or isn't passable. We haven't even gone to look. According to them, maybe it's not passable.
Well, me and Lance went up,
But it's a class 4
we
road.
went up in 2020.
Which is not-
Nothing's been done to it since.
That's what we talked to him, and
That's when me and Lance went up and we had the biologist there to look at the beaver dams, which was, yeah, you were there, which was causing the issues and. Yeah, it seems like beaver eradication would be step 1, but
Yeah.
that's also
That's,
questionable. It says here that he's tried that and every one he takes out to come back, so.
they get a spot they like and that's the issue.
And there's nothing up there to bother them. You know, which is a huge issue.
what I can say is the bridge that's there now, or the culvert that's there now, if you took that out, put that other culvert in, if you wanna give it to him. That should take the water.
Okay.
And then I would leave the spillway that would be on there, because the water's going through the culvert, it shouldn't be going across the road. Okay, they go down a dip, but you build that back up, it's just gonna wash back out again.
Yep. Yeah, this wasn't necessarily them complaining about the road, it just direct result of the road in the situation that it's in. I can let you look at this after if you want, but
Well, I mean, technical about it, you only need it passable one season out of the year.
right, which season's it possible where you don't drive through the water?
It's froze.
Well,
That's assuming you don't slide downstream.
the trouble is, yeah, the trouble is, it's a stream that has fish in it.
Right.
It is not a seasonal stream.
Right,
And A&R says that if you put in a culvert, Agency of Natural Resources, over 3 feet, that you have to have a water study done.
They come back.
And it doesn't make any difference if it's
6 foot
a class 3 or class 4 road.
So this kind of goes back to the issue we were having over above Claude's on Skinner Hill. Is it worth it to throw it up as a trail to an extent? Yeah, I mean, well, they threw up the county road, which wasn't, I mean, their section of the county road was,
But they're looking at that, they're saying they're getting rid of their class.
yeah, you want to just turn your mic on, Todd, sorry.
They're putting them on as trails over in Enosburg.
So that may be something worth looking into. Either way, just so you know, they're gonna be at the next meeting. So. I didn't have anything else. Anything else?
Nope.
Oh, he's going to get something.
Yeah.
He already had his letter typed too.
Just I had the printer going, he made it.
We can, if it's depending on where it is. That might have got put in the tabled items. Oh.
That would be the follow-up to the earlier.
Oh, that's what he went and got right there. Okay. Okay. So he just brought me the access for the third crossing at the golf course.
Is there a fee for that?
I thought
I gave them.
it's been paid.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, right here. Check number. I didn't write it.
And we got rid of better than that.
No.
Project description. Did we have any restrictions on that? There's really nothing on this one.
Stop signs like the state is doing with their trails, they got one on each side, even if they're going.
We need to stop.
Stop signs and keep the sign.
The beer cart sometimes goes.
Yeah.
And our maintenance card.
It is, you know. Oh my gosh, we've been having music up there.
You know, they got.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to bring that.
Linda McCall got a move permit too.
She's gonna pass her hunter safety course first.
I can't believe they let you go in the lottery without even having a license to hunt. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
And if you didn't fill it out,
I applied in the lottery, but they don't require you to have a permit, you know, a license.
You can be the wooded scout or
I
whatever.
was gonna say, you might be the scouter.
Well, the scouter can't apply.
License to get the actual tag,
Right.
but not to apply.
There was nothing else. No other restrictions on that other than stop signs on both sides of the access.
I mean. I think they keep the brush trimmed back pretty good. There's one at the top of the hill, will be the only one really that's got any.
Yeah, they keep it pretty well trimmed back.
Friday night when the sun's shining, and you'll totally appreciate that place. It's so beautiful sitting on that deck. Except for the.
Aren't you supposed to be working?
As they go by.
Aren't you supposed to be
You
working?
have to wait for them to get done
Oh, okay.
until they get done golfing.
That's bull. I golf, I know different.
That's how they- to see me.
Sit at the bar?
No,
Okay.
we have food and everything up there. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
I think we're gonna go and bother.
Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Weren't you listening?
You up there all 3 days?
I do Friday night.
I'm not gonna. sign
They
up.
can't sign that.
Okay.
It's gotta be the three of us.
Terry can.
Terry works for the golf course.
No, technically she works
For the golf.
She
course.
works at the golf course for a subcontractor of the building. Okay, yeah, it's.
That's what carry anyhow.
Doesn't matter. My signature doesn't mean anything. You only needed 3.
So, yeah, 3 carries anyhow.
Anything else? Thought I had something, but I can't remember. I'll stop down if I think of it. Anybody else? Anything for Matt? Going once?
Got passed again this weekend on Main Street.
We don't control that.
I know.
We're gonna discuss something about replacement.
Just thought I'd let you know that though.
I wasn't sure if we wanted to discuss that right in front of him. I mean,
How?
yes.
That is what I'd like to know.
It's fine.
So.
Terry, Mike.
Town highway,
Not like they don't.
what the hell is that called? We do have a job description. We worked on that. We have one. It's all set up. So if we can post that in our run an ad in the messenger courier, whatever it is, and hiring. I personally, Dan, if you're willing, I'd like you to, in the time you're until August 31st, if we hire somebody. If you work with them and train them on what your job and stuff is, so we may have a 4-man crew for. Well,
Show them how to put snow chains on.
right, make sure the chains are tight and. Sand is, we have another question.
Well, it's the question, and I think it's been answered. Sue Ann. Terry doesn't work for the golf course itself. She just subcontract. She works for a subcontractor of the golf course.
Correct.
Does that answer your comments? And she says, doesn't she have to recuse herself? Why doesn't she have to recuse herself if she works at the golf course or works there?
She works for a restaurant.
I
It's
couldn't
not the
hear.
actual golf course.
Okay,
It's owned by two different people.
okay, thank you. She says, no, we're gonna take a picture of it. I don't know if it's recorded. I could try to give you the chat box, but it's recording the cloud, so I need to have the time to matter rather than staying here till 10:30 every night. So I don't know if it's recording the chat box. I'll just take 2 pictures of it. Yeah, I'll pause the meeting, snap the shots and text them to you. If I can get them down from the cloud, I haven't tried, I will. Sorry.
Is that what you were hoping for, Mac?
Yeah.
And if-
Tammy, when she does that, I get them 2 or 3 times, 4 or 5 times a week, different towns looking for employers.
Yep.
Give her a couple
I was gonna
examples.
say, there's one person that's always sent me.
Yeah.
So we'll let them know that it's gonna be advertised.
Yeah.
Yep.
That way, it gives a basic outline of the CDL and.
We have an application for it. If people
Yeah, it's
fill
gonna
out.
be an application.
Well, there would,
A resume.
I think
They
that's
just send resume.
a resume,
Or asking.
I think a resume and. I mean, obviously your qualifications are gonna be on your resume, but.
It's like a 1 page. and-
Yeah, I was just, I
I
think,
have interest with the resume.
I think a resume and, references that we can request.
Okay.
A lot of towns,
This looks off.
This is off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
a lot of towns have a.
Sorry, so
a Timeline.
Right.
You can't live half an hour away. They want like 15 minutes,
This person's a Bakersfield resident, so that would work that way.
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't
Yeah.
want somebody that's an hour away.
No,
No.
No,
I-
For.
I don't think there's any problem with saying that. Bakersfield town residents would have priority over the position. I think that's,
Disagree with that one,
you do. Why is that?
because I think it's an open position. I don't think any, because that doesn't. They might not necessarily mean that they're the best candidate. I think that's who you give the job to. The best candidate
Yeah.
out there.
Well, we could say preferred, right? Not.
You can still keep it. I mean, my job, you have to be 25 minutes from the shop.
Yeah.
Oh, so basically, we
But you
just
can
need
live Fairfield, you can live
local
Sheldon.
residents.
I wouldn't go for a show. You gotta.
Well, you can't for here, but I'm saying for my job,
Yeah.
some of them, but they've got to be 25 minutes. You got to be able to respawn on the dot, 25 minutes through the shop. And they actually drive it.
Do you have that,
If it's
Tammy? Is it
questionable.
under? You have a good, huh? No. Well, I don't. I mean,
I'll
the
discuss.
closer the better, but yeah, if you can, and if we can get that in ASAP. It's always Monday.
We could add it to a job description. I don't remember if we did or didn't have that on there.
Didn't have that in there.
That's
I mean, that's,
where anyone applying, they,
well, the job description is more like what you're doing. That would be more like a job requirement.
requirement.
Like must be able to lift 50 pounds. Yeah.
well, like when you apply for a job at work, you look up and it gives you your job, your requirements,
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
whether it be that you need to have a
Right.
high school diploma or something equivalent,
Mhm. I'm listening to it.
you need to be within 25 minutes. or 30. I mean, whatever these guys think is reasonable.
Please.
So the other thing,
Yours is at 30 now.
so the other thing I'd like to touch on roads. And it's also down below in board business. We have spoken, it's G, item G in board business.
Gee,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been brought up that we would make this right when FEMA loan was paid off.
I think the wording was if we would make it right when if there were surplus funds, and having said that, the FEMA loan is paid off, we still have money coming in. So I think we've met that requirement.
So. In saying that, is there any reason we should not pay this bill? It's been 4+ years now. They've been fairly patient, and we have told them the same thing every time. As soon as we know there's surplus funds, we would be willing to.
Right now, we're still not surplus because we borrowed from the roads.
Right, but with what we have coming in,
Right.
we know, the biggest issue we were having is we wanted FEMA paid off, the FEMA loan paid off. That's done, and we know we will have surplus loan or surplus funds.
I would make the motion that we pay Buska for that plowing. Is that what it was
It
for?
was plowing, yep.
At this
I would-
I
point?
was not impressed with his bill.
I would second that motion.
Sorry, Carrie, your mic wasn't on. That's just so it's on.
I said, I was not impressed with the invoice that we got. It was very vague.
It's all connected there too. It was, but I'm just
I
playing,
wasn't on the board when they agreed to do this either.
just to play devil's advocate though. No stipulations were set
That's what I'm saying.
that said, it was a verbal agreement with Julian. Who came in as his neighbor and was praising him for doing the job that we couldn't do due to the road conditions. I think if we were to not pay this, there could be legal ramifications, as that is a class 3 road
And it wasn't.
and it
agreed.
wasn't possible.
Mhm.
We don't have to maintain class 3 roads in the winter.
That's crazy.
Right. No, it's not. Well, that, there was clearly a sign then that said class 3 or, what did it say, road closure was the must. I mean, it was possible. What's that?
Residences on it?
Yeah, you take residence, if you take residency on a class 3 or class 4 road, you do it under the knowing that it could be. Well, I don't know about 3. I know class 4 is like that.
Class 3 too, like I said, that one there, that going over Smugs.
Well, we've all seen what the lawyers' bills have been for previous issues. I think if we were to even have Vaughn look into this, our lawyer bills are gonna be higher than that. If it goes to court and he wins, we're gonna pay that plus our lawyer fees, plus his lawyer fees. So,
Yeah,
I don't think it's
I was gonna say, if we did this in the future, it would be done differently.
absolutely, yep.
like,
This is definitely a live and learn situation, and I think we've all learned a valuable lesson here. Especially the two of us that were on the board at the time of agreement. So the motion has been made and seconded. So all those in favor of paying Mr. Gary Buska the total of $4,600 for plowing in the year of 2020 from the dates of January 1st to March 1st, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
So now it's gonna be added to the warrants for the next.
So, yes. I could if Vera hadn't taken them already.
She's out there.
So, Vera.
I think she's already,
She's all done, I think.
I think so.
Okay.
Extra week this.
Is she still out there?
Just have her at it for next week's warrants.
Yeah, well, we can pencil it in if she's,
You all done with the warrants?
are you completed with the road warrant?
No.
No, I was wondering if,
Yeah, that's a-
I was wondering if we could amend it and pay Gary Buska the sum of $4,600.
add that stuff.
I would like to, yes,
No.
that will take care of that. That doesn't stop any of our other stuff. We can continue on while she's doing that.
Alright.
Yeah, she's at the bottom of trafficking on the other sheets.
Well, you can put it on next week's warrant.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be on next minute. The way we can do that, would that be easier? They wait 100 years, I think, 1 week.
Okay, then, absolutely. Abs,
Sweet.
yep.
Much easier.
All right.
Thank you.
Matt, we are all set with you. Buskas, yeah, check will be in the mail. Well, check will be in the mail after next week, within 30 days. Thank you for their patience and cooperation in helping the town in such a
And
stressful time.
for the record, the FEMA loan wasn't paid off till last month,
Correct.
so.
Yeah, this was the first option we had to make that adjustment, or make that right, so. Treasurer position update, we still don't have anybody. Murder,
I had a question about that.
so Dan wants it, awesome.
Well, Dan, you should put your wife to work now.
What would, I know it's gonna cost us more, but we get a professional. If we went to an accounting firm and asked them,
That, I mentioned that earlier in the search.
nobody wanted to do it.
See, what about an accounting firm to take over our books? Did Mr. Cattell,
Right,
he said anything we needed, didn't he say that? He did say that.
I don't know.
Yes, KBS,
I think the issue might be is that you got one competitor that's looking at the other competitor when you do your audits, and that's why sometimes your businesses don't.
which is pretty typical,
Right.
in bigger businesses, yeah.
Jessica,
I have tried that. Well, they're conflicting positions.
Right.
And well, yes, I was like, so what's the downside to this? And the problem was the extra hours. You know, she could do that stuff in short hours. It's the January and October that January is busy for every accounting position, so she couldn't take. Trust me, I've tried. KBS, and there's a couple others, Rampish, there's what's the one that Jason works for? Spice, okay. I mean, I could probably get the names of a couple others.
And we didn't get anything from any of those other temp agencies. We never got
No,
anything out of
and what but their contract was crazy, what they wanted. 20% of the, it was.
No, I agree.
So that takes care of roads, sorry, treasurer position.
So I'm gonna update, we obtained with the help of Tammy and with the help of Mac, the building information we required and contact information. Alex is filling out all the appropriate forms to get that set up so they can come up and inspect the buildings.
Excellent. Perfect, thank you.
Mhm.
Proposed town Amazon Prime account discussion.
So this is when we ordered the TV keyboard and mouse, the discussion began that we don't have a Prime account. And that there are advantages, but it does cost a yearly fee. But there are advantages on shipping and such with the Prime account. I used mine so that we didn't pay.
What does it say? Shipping's free if you order over $25 anyway.
yeah.
Your Prime?
Yeah,
Amazon?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Never even paid attention. I used the Prime for the TVs.
Yeah, well, I've thought about getting rid of my Prime account because all the stuff that you used to get, you don't get anymore.
Yeah, you don't get the two-day shipping.
My Prime account because they no longer upheld their end of the bargain.
Yeah,
2 days.
Now, it used to be 1 day,
Yeah.
if you're Prime, your order was to come in 1 day.
Yeah.
Now it might come 2, it might come 3.
It's really not waiting a week. I'm waiting a week and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it can go longer, but I'm just saying.
So do I think it's worth it? I don't.
Bring it up, but we have requests. So
I don't think it's worth it. Maybe look next time we go to order something and see if we get any better shipping, but I don't think you do.
yes, Mac told me that
Okay.
Friday. Thank you, though.
Warrants and reports and all going through.
Gone.
Review the mail, I think we.
Anything in the mail?
Yes.
I sent over a couple of things that were in the mailbox and I printed out and put in the mail.
Um, Dispatch contract. Oh, okay.
That $16,000 we just signed the warrant for. We
Yeah.
don't have a signature on the contract
Right,
from me.
from us, our side, 16,884.
Did it go up from last year a lot?
Not a lot.
We have an escalator clause in the contract. If I remember, it was like a couple year contract thing, we're just bumping it so much. a
Yeah.
year. I want to say 5%, but I don't remember.
So do you have your stamp? Okay, it just has to be signed by me and then witnessed. So,
To notarize it.
yeah. We are, so, sorry. I need a motion, a second, and a
Make a motion to sign the emergency services contract as presented.
I'll second that.
say somebody's gonna second that. Those in favor of me signing, signify by saying aye.
I,
Any opposed?
I abstained.
Lance second.
Fire department connection.
This is
Involved in that. so-
oh, okay. I was gonna say, this is through the St. Albans Police Department though. Okay.
Yeah.
Vote passes
Lance,
first, second, abstain, vote pass 4-0.
we can throw away. I saw the edge blade thing also came through this email, so I gave it to them to submit.
How you even got your account? Your-
I have no idea, but it came to the town of Bakersfield.
account people,
Man, I don't.
Give them a physical address, your mailing address, and they made it.
Just look. Email the select board email, so.
Yeah.
But that's what they were saying. They'll give it to you to present it next meeting because you already done it and here you would.
Tammy, what did you ordered from Consolidated? Installation. Oh, fitting fibers through Consolidated. Okay, so did you need that? It's just the name. That's your receipt. Is that what you were looking for today when I came in?
I think that.
Okay.
Does that give
Is that the order?
number and a
Like.
PIN number?
Account number.
Does it say video? Consolidated.
Consolidated.
Okay, yeah.
Unless you got this one. Else. We also have the quote for installing the duplex reticle right there.
Oh, well, then I can cross that off my power. About time.
According to this, it's gonna cost $800.
For what?
Install that electric box.
No, no, that's, if you did that whole,
He wants $800 to do it that. Oh,
no,
oh, it's two separate quotes.
it's two separate quotes.
Okay, outlet on the south.
That opposed to if you did this whole,
This is the North Pole.
that's the North Pole.
It's actually.
Cheaper.
he wants $200 for that pole.
$350.
$350 for that pole. And how much for that pole? $450. $450?
Yeah.
$100 more to put a box.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the whatever.
You know what would happen if I cut through that?
Nothing.
I'd get electrocuted. It only hurt for a minute though.
Not if the-
Turn the breaker off. You don't feel it. But I got told we had to use a licensed electrician because it's a.
I've got a license.
All right, driver's license.
Not an electrical license, but I got a license. Right? That's gotta work. All right, does anybody feel like spending 350 or 450 so that we can change that from over there to over here?
Well, we can move it over there, but that is the handicap type thing. That's why we.
For 350 or
Shows here. And it's
So, you know, I think we can do for like, I'm gonna say like $150, maybe even 100
extension.
extension cords. Extension cords and zip ties.
Yeah.
For $100, we can just run an extension cord up, tie, wrap it right across and come down.
With the HDMI cable with it.
Yep,
There we go.
strap them both together. All right, we'll have to get a.
Order that from your Amazon Prime account, would you?
And it's, I'll tell you, it costs $100 to read the stadium.
Huh? Yeah, the staging rental is gonna be the most important part, the most expensive part.
Tape.
Phil Scott's got $7 million for electrical vehicles charging stations. Anybody want to build one?
I use my electric vehicle for storm this week.
We talked about it at one point, kind of like what Ian Spring did there, but. 7 million for the statewide,
For a grant?
yeah. We have one here for extreme flooding. Which is.
Thankfully, we
We assembled a team based in Vermont. We didn't have any flooding, so we'll count our lucky stars this time and hope we don't get hit too hard the next time.
Yes.
So,
Getting hit hard down south.
Mac and I have already decided that if we get hit with another FEMA event, we're both resigning.
me too, put my name on there.
We'll be done working for Dennis.
All right. Review the mail, that one, what is this?
Just an FYI, that's a counter break. You want to just skim through it and see if you want to add something or.
Right now,
What is it?
Town of Braintree is seeking an individual for looking to have job includes road maintenance, survey equipment operation.
You know,
I think-
you want to add, scribble it on there for her.
I think the.
I would-
Write it.
I would cross out class B. CDL and go to the class A. Because if we go with a excavator with a trailer, I want somebody certified. Not saying you're not certified, just saying that if somebody new shows up,
Somebody that can drive a truck legally.
Let me just power.
I do not feel like the town of Bakersfield will pay for the commercial driver's license certification.
See something like. It just gives it a rough, there's been better ones in the past, but I just can't pull them up.
I'm working on it. Can I do this after?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We'll do that after then, because that kind of felt like I was being watched. No, I'm good. Last thing before we leave, setting the speed limits, a guide for Vermont towns, last edited in 2016. There was just a couple of things.
Read up on it earlier, isn't there like annually, we're supposed to do something?
There is a study that can be done.
Well, no, that it says annually, we're supposed to put down what our speed limits are for our town roads. Is that true, Mac?
No, we have,
Something in Title 23 that said for towns, annually, you're supposed to revisit your speed limits that you posted and say these how it shows it in here too, where you list your town highway and what the speed limit is for that highway. So it's for that road
We have that,
25 on the avenue.
on the annex or where I live on the academy. Yeah.
So, John, just because I know you're probably gonna ask, because it was one of the questions I had.
For a while, the sign,
35, we can read that.
yeah,
I think we should do it countywide coverage.
I do,
The
yeah.
whole town drive. 35.
It talks in here about, page 10. Refer to section 23 VSA, section 1017. Those two sections
Yep.
are attached in the back.
Okay.
Title 24, section 1972, and then that one refers you to 1973. So we attached both of them so that you could look over those. And depending on the way I read it is those would only come into play if somebody was to petition to remove the speed limit.
Yes.
This changing the speed limit, the way I read this is solely in the hands of the select board.
And that.
So that's because this is a town road, not a state road.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So, because I know people are gonna
It's-
start asking about why we can't lower 108 more.
That's because that is a state road. Yep, exactly. So this is no different. The way I read this is no different than when we said all ATVs operating on Bakersfield town roads must have a $10 sticker.
Yep.
It's an ordinance because it's a town road, not a law because it's not a state road, so.
Right.
But read it over and come ready to discuss it. At the next meeting, because if everybody reads it the way I do, I don't see any reason why we couldn't make motion forward on that ASAP.
Okay.
It does say in here, though, that you can't blanket the town.
Right.
Can't. Something about, I can read it to you if you want, but it's about. Yeah, it's. Responsibilities.
New trips, something to play within 60 days it goes in.
I did read it. It's on page 5 in there somewhere. It says something about blanketing the town. It doesn't work. So if you had problem areas. You know, like if you wanted to do from. I don't know, like the ponds where the pavement starts, but that wouldn't make any sense because you got.
Just reporting out here, saying 35, people are gonna think it's 35.
Unless they see a 50 sign. Yep.
If you don't do that full 50 times. I mean,
Well, you would have to, like, if we do this on the Boston Post, you're gonna need a 35 by Birchway and a 35 by 108, but you're also gonna need a 50 up by Birchway so that.
Yeah.
You could,
I mean, cause when you start adding signs like that, it's gonna get, we don't have signs cost money.
yeah,
So you're gonna run Boston Post all the way past Jarvis at 35.
For me to go to line to Bakersfield, why not? That way they don't get going 50 miles an hour. I mean, they're gonna do it anyway. Unless you got enforcement.
so you would put a 35 down by Jarvis Farm
Down by the.
Right where our
Yep.
starts all the way down.
and then one up here by 108. Okay. That's discussion. Tammy, make sure that's on the agenda for our next meeting.
So what do we need, 6 signs for that whole stretch? How many signs do we need for the stretch? Because saying it's 35 ain't gonna make anyone do 35.
Well, if you put one in one of these,
that.
where it should, well,
You're gonna need one in the middle.
Oh, you think? None of them are town residents?
you
You need 6 signs.
Travels that road.
need probably.
Yeah, you're gonna need at least 6 to 8 signs.
Why does he need 6 to 8 signs?
You got different people turning on, you need it at 108, I will read. But I think there's so many signs per feet, per mile you have to have. So I'm saying at 108 to Jarvis's, you put one at both sides and one in the middle, you're covered, right? 6 signs, you gotta put them in both directions.
Okay.
No, you don't need one you don't need one on both sides of the road at the intersection of 108. You need one on each side.
Okay.
So 4 signs.
4 signs, 2, 4 signs.
4 signs.
Playing devil's advocate,
That's a good
you
point.
have to put a sign that says N 35 miles an hour.
No, because when they hit state highway or change towns, it's a different municipality and a different. The state highway is run by the
So
state.
When you hit the Enosburg line, it would be their responsibility to put a 50.
All unmarked roads are 50 miles an hour.
Okay.
That's, I mean,
Well, as I said, I'm
it's
just-
not our responsibility,
I'm
just
just,
their road.
As I said, just playing devil's advocate.
You
Looking at this, it says there is no set minimum distance between signs within a speed zone.
No, I don't
Okay.
think
So if you make it 35 the entire, then you don't
What
need.
they wanna do is come up just past the poor farm, the first sign there is
Yeah.
down at the end,
Right.
that way you'll see
Yeah,
it.
it covers.
Turn on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah,
You'll be able to see
we just want to make sure that we work with Jarvis so we're not blocking any of their
Nope.
entrances or exits because of it. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they may be a little concerned about it, but
we'll see. We'll have to look in there and see if you have to be a town resident in order to complain.
what's that?
I said we'll have to look and see if you have to be a town resident in order to petition. Any other Jarvis. Okay, yeah.
They live on that, but they live there.
Hmm.
They took 35 anyway.
Todd Brown was married to the building across the street with his sister.
All them There's.
And others, what's the other two rounds all packed up? John, any other others down there? I would entertain motions then.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
None.
All righty.
Have a good night.
Thank you, everyone.